here today with Dr. Kim Wilcox, the former Vice President of Michigan State University, and the recently appointed Chancellor of UC Riverside. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.
Chancellor.
Great to be here.
You've been here for a little over a month, and as you may have noticed, UC Riverside is pretty different from East Lansing, Michigan. Since your arrival, what has surprised you most about our campus?
Really few surprises in some ways, because people were very good about explaining to me before I came what UCR is and what it's about. So I've had surprisingly few. The biggest surprise probably is it rains. We've had 2 rainstorms. I've only been here 3 weeks now, and it's rained twice. But beyond that, the rest of the university is much like I expected it to be. And I can say it's been delightful.
And are there any specific shared similarities between our campus and?
Well, let me get on some of the list of similarities and some of the list of differences. On the list of similarities, we're both land-grant universities, founded in the tradition of Abraham Lincoln and Justin Morrill, trying to make sure that the United States had a system of education that allowed everyone, regardless of their background or their family, access to the very best in learning, and at the same time assured that the nation had a system for research and knowledge creation that was going to serve all the population. So in that way, we're very similar. At Michigan State and at UCR, we're committed to making sure all students from wherever their backgrounds can come and live and work and study at truly a world-class university. And not just a place that teaches, but a place that creates the knowledge that's being taught. So that's the important similarity. Differences, Michigan State was about twice as big. We have almost 49,000 students at Michigan State, and we only have 22,000 here. Which means the campus is bigger, there are more students around and more faculty and the rest. But day to day, you don't see 50,000 students. Day to day, you don't see 20,000 students. You only see a few at a time. So they both feel much the same in that regard. I joked with the provost the other day. We were out walking and visiting some parts of campus, and there's an elevator outdoors. Well, in Michigan, you don't put elevators outdoors because of the snow. So there are buildings there where you get in the elevator outside and get off it inside. So the architecture is different, and it lends itself to a different feel. The Chancellor's residence is right adjacent to campus and adjacent to the citrus groves and the botanical gardens, so I have a chance to do those kinds of things and can do them year-round, which is really fun and exciting.
You're succeeding Chancellor Timothy White, who focused heavily on continuing communication within the students. I'm just wondering, how do you plan on carrying the tradition of frequent student interaction?
Yeah, with 22,000 students and lots fewer faculty and staff, most of us are students here. So it's important as Chancellor that I connect with everybody, and certainly when most of us are students, I need to connect with the students in every way I can. I like to do 2 or 3 different things. There's a kind of a formal network, as you know. There's AS at UCR. That is a formal structure. I've had a chance now to meet with the leadership several times already, and we'll continue to do that through the governance system as well as through informal meetings with the leadership of the student government, undergraduate and graduate. And I'll do semi-formal things, that is go to receptions and events. I have several already on my calendar for the first few weeks of school, meeting with student groups at their events as we begin the school year. And then there's the informal events. Excuse me. I like to just find times to get together with students, and sometimes very impromptu. Take some students lunch. In fact, I had the chance here last week to just sit down with some students and had lunch over at the hub. They didn't know that they were going to get a chance to eat with it, or have to eat with a chance there maybe, but I bought them lunch, so it wasn't so bad. But those are great conversations because nobody came with an agenda. I didn't have an agenda. They didn't have an agenda. We just got together and had lunch. And then we could talk about all kinds of things, about the university, but about where they see themselves and where they see their lives headed. So formal, semi-formal, and informal are all parts of the things that I think are great parts of this job.
And in terms of that interaction, what do you think the role of the student and the chancellor would be, respectively?
Let me explain to you how one of the ways I see a university. Well, here's I'll tell you a story. If I go someplace with my mother, who is very proud of her son, the professor, she will introduce me to her friends as her son, the professor. And invariably, her friends will ask me what I teach, because that's what they think. But if I go somewhere with professors from around the country, no one ever asks me what I teach. They ask me what I study. And to me, that says something about how professors see themselves. We don't see ourselves as teachers first. We see ourselves as students first. We're here to study the things that are important to us and make us passionate about the future. And then we love to have students be students with us. If we think of ourselves as students, then we have graduate students, we have undergraduate students, we have other people who are students as well. So in that sense of the university, then I'm the head student. We're all here to learn together. We have different experiences. Some of us have studied for more years and passed more tests. Professors passed their doctoral orals, and they passed promotion exams as a faculty member. They passed more tests, but they're still here to study and learn. And so for me, I want to make sure that all those students, from our distinguished professors to our assistant professors, to our graduate students, to our undergraduate students, all have the best opportunity to learn, and to learn in the way that is most effective for them. And that means support programs that assist them in their studies, whether it's professors needing professional development, or graduate students needing career development, or undergraduate students needing tutoring, support programs, and an environment that lets them study the things that they think are important. If you're in a grade school, the school board decides what the curriculum is. But here we get to decide ourselves. The students and the faculty decide together what the curriculum is going to be. The faculty own the curriculum, they take advice from the students, and we create our own new programs, our own new courses. That's part of my job, to make sure that all the students, undergraduate, graduate, and faculty, have a chance to study what they want in the way that they want and be successful at it.
And speaking of student enrollment and faculty interaction with their students, you briefly mentioned the possibility of expanding the faculty size on our campus by 150. It was something you briefly mentioned during the special meeting in August. And I was just wondering, would it be possible for you to elaborate on that?
Yeah, let me talk a little bit, yes. That's actually an initiative of Executive Vice Chancellor Ravenstein's, who has for a while now talked about both the desire and the need to expand the faculty. And his goal would be 150 new faculty members. I think it's a very reasonable goal. In the 3 weeks I've been here now, he and I have talked quite a bit about how we might be able to do that. Of course, it's going to take money and resources. It's also going to take additional space. To add faculty, you need offices and laboratories and all that go with it. So we're in the early stages now of talking about how we would go about expanding the building space on the campus and the faculty for the future. 150 is probably a pretty good guess at what we'll try to do. I don't know what the exact planning will be and how many years it would take, but that's likely to be our goal. As we get a little more into the planning, we'll of course have broader discussions on the campus in the fall with students and the faculty about what that would mean. But we're seriously considering and starting to work on it right now.
Taking from your experience there, what initiatives can you apply from Michigan State to our campus?
It turns out, unfortunately, crime prevention has some similarities nearly everywhere. And I give Interim Chancellor Conway and the university high marks in their response to the events of last year. I've already had a chance to take a driving tour with the chief and assistant chief of police through the neighborhoods and around the campus, talking about the things that we have done and the things we still can do to make the environment safer. That includes number, I want to say 10 surveillance cameras have been installed in the last few months. Lots more patrols, lots more lighting. We're trimming back bushes just so it's easier to see. I mean, there are physical changes you can make to make things safer and to make it more difficult for criminals and essentially dissuade them from participating. There's a number of things that we have to be more vigilant of as individuals, whether students, faculty, and others, about our own safety and how we think about our environment. You can never be fully safe, but you can do things to make yourself safer, and we're going to continue to have those kinds of educational programs on the campus to remind us all of our responsibilities in protecting ourselves and others. So those principles apply whether you're in Michigan or New York or Riverside. They're kind of sound basic principles, but they're ones that we sometimes lose track of because we get comfortable in our environment. And that's really part of the key message is we need to feel at home, but we also need to stay kind of aware of the risks that are always out there.
It seems like the crime rate is one, or the crime around campus is one reason why a lot of students might not venture off of campus and into, I guess, into downtown Riverside. And it seems like that invisible line on Iowa often deters the campus and city from connecting, or city like from overlapping. I'm just wondering, do you have any concrete plans to improve student involvement in the city?
I can tell you that I've been in a couple of conversations already about kind of our campus footprint and how we are organized. I've characterized us as putting our best face toward the highway. Kind of our best view of campus is along the highway and the sound retaining wall along 215. I think we need to think better about how we open ourselves up to the campus and to the state and to the world physically. And of course we have the highway going through the middle of campus, and then we're a long ways from downtown. It's not an easy walk from campus to downtown Riverside. And so we got to think about how the spaces blend, I think, together in ways that are good for the city and good for the university. And I don't know if we've spent enough time thinking that way in the past. That's one of, again, I've already had a couple of conversations in the last couple of weeks with that in mind. How do we think about the space of our campus? Our students are generally on the far east side of campus, and that makes them even further from downtown. So we need to think a little bit about how people move back and forth and how the spaces are organized.
And are you looking forward to anything in the fall quarter?
I'm looking forward to the entire fall quarter. I've never been to one before. So it's everything from the beginning events at the beginning of the year to the big concert. What's the name of the concert?
Block Party.
Block Party. I'm looking forward to all of it. It's just going to be nothing but fun.
And is there anything else you'd like to say to the UCR community or the student body?
There's a thousand things I want to say. I won't say them all. Let me say two. But I'll have the rest of at least the fall quarter, maybe longer, to say the rest of them. Let me say two. First, I want to say how grateful I and my wife are, Diane, for how warmly we've been welcomed here by everybody, you included. I remember seeing you in the first day. Everybody here has just been so nice and very supportive and clearly want us to be comfortable and successful. And that's very rewarding and satisfying for me, number one. Number two, I'm going to continue to remind people of what a special place we have here. There are lots of environments, universities, high schools, lots of places where people feel comfortable and included. That's not easy to do because a lot of places, not the case. But it's not impossible to do. There aren't very many places where so many people feel comfortable and included, and at the same time, it's a world-class university, creating knowledge that no one has ever dreamed before. We have somebody on campus who has created a window to the brain. You stick it in the skull and you can actually shoot lasers through the brain anytime you need it. to combat cancer. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable, period. And then to do it in an environment that allows all of us, regardless of what our backgrounds are, to come and be part of that, that's a pretty special place. And I really do believe that we can become the model for universities in the 21st century by being a place that has proven success at including students of all race, color, creed, and family origin, and including them in activities that nobody else in the world can even imagine, let alone do. That's what our future is. And so I'm going to continue to remind us all what a special place this is and how much we have a responsibility to take advantage of that. We have a responsibility to make sure we maintain this environment that is so welcoming for everyone. And we have a responsibility to make sure that our research is at the very top edge. We can't take a second seat. We can't sell ourselves short in facilities, in equipment, in people, or in aspirations. That's the other thing I'd say. I've got 1,000 more, but I won't tell you all of them. How's that?
Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you. Call me Kim.
And it was really nice meeting you again.
Real good. Thanks.